Hello, welcome to Swiss Watch Cam. Welcome to another very cool collector's video. I'm here with Boris Pjanic, otherwise known as Watches and Art. Boris, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Awesome.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. We're here in Cologne, Germany,
Yep.
in your area,
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
I know you put some effort into it to convince me, and it worked.
Yeah, thank
You're the
you.
first, the
First
only.
one. We did two videos already with you on my channel. The first one was with a beautiful piece, unique Maurice Grossman and Carrier wood line and dial, which afterwards many people started doing, correct? So you
Yeah.
were the basically initiator of this whole collaboration. And then we did a second video with three very cool watches, a custom Grossman as well for a client of yours, Alchemists,
Yeah.
and a Andreas Strehler. So if you didn't see these videos, check them. I'm gonna put the link in the description. So Boris, before we dive into the watches, tell us why watches and art, and how did you start with watches at all?
I started collecting in 1998
Yeah.
while living in the US back then in Chicago. And I remember my very first watch, and I still own it. It's a Baume & Mercier with a blue dial, and I do have a fable for blue dials, although today we only have one here, or two actually.
Two, yeah.
Blue is kind of my favorite color in terms of dial color. You can fetch me with colors though, overall with dials.
So let's maybe start with the watch on the far right side. Tell us something about this beauty.
So this one was actually one of the lucky picks. I met with an old buddy of mine quite a few years ago. Anycar for me is one of those very underrated brands with a very high quality watch. The company itself, as we knew it, doesn't exist. I know it has been revived because I have seen a huge watch stand in Baselworld many years ago.
Yeah.
So I think it was bought by Chinese investors or something. Not sure what they're doing, if they're around in that second version of the company. But the old vintage pieces are fantastic quality. Many of them are also in a contemporary size. So you're primarily looking at around 36 to 40, maybe slightly above 40 millimeters. They have lots of great chronographs. It's becoming hard to find these watches in good condition.
Yeah, for sure.
Many have like wrecked dials, and that's become a little bit harder now to find good pieces. So this is a super dive, a Sherpa super dive, and you can see I've worn it. The glass does have some scratches, the plexi. I look at my watches as something that has to bring me joy, that I love to wear. I wear them all. There is nothing that's being treated like just a treasure. And I think that's what they're made for, because there will be one day when we're all going and we're not taking these watches with us.
So why not enjoy them now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is a cool piece. You can see the glass. It's quite like, I don't know, I wouldn't call it super domed, but it's definitely like
It's a
high
thick,
up.
thick
It's
glass,
a thick glass, kind of really looking cool.
Very cool. So the next watch is a brand we actually never featured before on the channel.
Okay.
Never seen this particular model. I'm sure people who love the brand will love this piece. Tell us something about this watch.
Yeah, so this is a Citizen, very rare to come by, super thin. It was for a very short time in the mid-60s the thinnest watch in the world. I think then Piaget overtook them.
Yeah.
This is made of white gold. It's actually my only white gold piece, and I just loved it when I saw it first. It comes from a highly specialized Citizen collector who is also a wonderful friend of mine. And I'm very grateful that he actually gave me this watch, and I'm treasuring it. I haven't worn it much because due to the gold, I am a little bit more careful not to completely scratch it over. But I love it. It's a fantastic piece. The Diamond Flake, that's what it is called if you want to look it up. There is probably some history that you can find in some blogs, but it's a very uncommon piece. Definitely very rare, very understated watch. If you wear it, there is nobody that will look at you.
Yeah, and it's also a different direction than Citizen is going these days.
Yes.
Let's say. A thin white gold breast watch.
Yeah.
It's completely the opposite now.
Absolutely.
Awesome, really cool. And it's mechanical. Huh?
It's mechanical.
It's not quartz.
Hand wind, yeah.
Very cool. So the next piece is a brand which many know, and it has a special function.
Yeah.
The Vulcan Cricket. How did you come about this watch?
I got this watch probably over 20 years ago.
Oh.
It's been with me for a long time. I lived for a long time in the US, and I knew this is the president's watch. At least that's what it is called. It's the Vulcan Cricket. I don't know how many of the American presidents truly had one.
Yeah.
And I just thought this is a watch I must have. It's not a watch I wear a lot, but I promise you one thing. If you put this on your desk and you need to wake up and you don't want anything else to wake you up, this thing is gonna rattle you out of bed. And you're probably gonna feel like you have a rattlesnake next door. So we could give that a shot if you want to.
Let's do it. Let's hear it.
Okay.
This is annoying, to say the least. I wouldn't love to wake up next to this in the morning, for
You
sure.
are going to wake up. Time to get out of bed.
I have an iPhone alarm clock, that sucks as well, but this will be even more awful, for sure. But it definitely does wake you up.
Yes.
Or if you set an alarm for something else.
Yeah.
So the next piece is very cool. It has a very cool name on the glass. It basically is you, watches and art.
Yes, I wanted to have a watch with a special dial. The dial has been made by Jochen Benzinger in Germany. He is Germany's most renowned gouacheur, very well respected worldwide. He's involved in many other projects, and he has done dashboards for very famous ultra luxury cars and stuff like that. So we're good friends, and I visited him and I told him, listen, make me a really sick dial. And this is what came out of it. I love this dial. I think it's just unbelievable. It's so hard to show the true beauty of it. You have to see it under the sun and in different lighting conditions. The dial is probably my most loved dial.
And how does the art aspect come in?
I think it's the creativity that I can associate here with watches like that. When I started watchesandart.com as a blog originally in 2008, my thought was, okay, let me first write about watches, then write about art, and maybe in a further step, go and sell watches, and maybe sell watches that are not your regular watches, have watches that are artsy, have vintage watches, you know, stuff that's different and beautiful. And I am a very visual person, so I need this visual appeal in every watch. That's what's driving me and making me enjoy this especially. So this is a perfect example for what I'm doing.
Awesome.
We have, I can show this, right?
Of course, of course.
So, I paint, and this has been a lifelong hobby. As a very little child, at age 4 or 5, I went to a painting school, and I found recently actually paintings from that time, but they're still in the basement. I have to sort through that. I paint abstract, usually colorful. It's an expression of happiness and joy, enjoying life as you are being handed life, and enjoy the path you take in life. So yeah, this is for me, my hobby. I usually paint them late in the night after I finish my work. And due to the fact that a lot of my work actually takes place in the evenings, since my clients are mostly abroad, then after that I need to unwind so I can sleep better. And this is my form of meditation. I'm relaxing with it, I'm unwinding, and then I can go and sleep like a baby afterwards.
And you have a lot of paintings, right? And it's not just a hobby, you also sold many of them before.
I have, but
big ones, huh?
Yeah, some big ones too. I made 2 really, really large size paintings for someone who has become a very good friend by now. Primarily, this is a hobby. I don't have the intention to turn this into a business. Should it ever become a business, that's fine. Not my primary goal. But I have sold over the years many, many paintings all over the place.
Good job. And it's cool to find the relaxation also in our busy life. So it's a good way to relax for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
So the next brand we have is also one of my favorites actually. Great manufacturer, great quality as well. They also co-own Angelus. So we have a nice Island Sun here, very classic design.
I've had this watch for very long. I got this like right when it came out. It's probably over 10 years now.
Wow.
I loved it the first time I saw it, and I had a very good friend who was actually working at the company, and he helped me with it, and it's a very, very cool piece. I love the gouache. It's fantastically, stunningly beautiful. In the back, there's an 8-day movement, equally beautiful. It doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, blue dial, obviously, your favorite.
Another one,
makes sense. And the next watch we have is something, again, we featured on the channel with you. So this is a very cool watch, which I think you said is discontinued by now, this collection.
Yeah.
Tell us something about this beautiful
Maurice Grossman. Bit of art on the strap. Fantastic watch from Maurice Grossman. When I started to collaborate with Maurice Grossman, I got this watch for myself. I love the simplicity in the back. I love the simplicity in the front. At the same time, it has a special character. And I've been wearing it, as you can see, and the strap, probably I'll have to change it soon. But I did paint a little bit on it. It's just, I paint actually on everything. I have shoes from friends that I paint. You can give me anything, I'll paint it. I have tables that I painted.
Nice.
It's just, it's kind of fun. So this is a beautiful watch. I think it was 39 millimeters. Very clean, very pretty.
Steel case and everything.
Steel case.
It's a very nice, like, under the radar watch.
Under the radar.
You can wear it, nobody will know what it is. People who know. You turn the watch around, you see the movement. Wow.
Yeah.
Really cool. And then we have a very cool salmon dial Doxa with pyramid-shaped indexes. Super cool.
An older gentleman who lives actually very close to my home, and we got to know each other maybe 10 years ago. And every once in a while we meet, we have coffee. Now, due to COVID, I haven't seen him for quite a while, and he must be close to his 80s. He has a huge collection and he loves watches, and when I meet with him, we discuss watches and the history and the way he approached collecting. And the older generation, they were very much into calibers, much more than we are nowadays. I think, well, we talk sometimes about in-house movement, but I don't think it really matters to people. They buy things based on marketing, on hype. They also buy things based on dial colors because it's a hype. So I am trying to stay away from all of that, but here is a beautiful, amazing copper salmon style dial. It's a Valjoux 88 from what I recall that's inside. It's a very cool piece. It has day, date, month indication. The date is a surround date indication. Then you have a chronograph on top of that. So it's actually a quite complicated piece. I'm dating it into the, I don't know, mid 60s, I would say. Not easy to find this watch a second time.
For sure.
Probably not a second one. Especially not in the style configuration.
And the condition.
In the condition. When I got this watch, initially I bought it because I wanted to sell it. And then I kind of fell in love and I put it to the side and I said, this one's not going. So it's going to stay. I think I have all the reason to let it stay with me. It just looks still very clean.
I think so too,
believe it's never been polished.
It looks new.
Hard to find it like that.
Yeah, it is. It is. And the next watch on the table that's slowly going through the roof, Parmigiani Fleurier. You have a beautiful example here. Tell us something about this.
This comes from a very good friend. It's an Italian collector who I've known for a long time as well. And he messaged me a couple of years ago and said if I'm interested. We have an interesting story here. This is one of the watches that my mom actually ended up buying.
Nice.
And she loves to wear the watch. Due to current times here in a big city, she doesn't wear it on the street anymore, but she wears it at home and enjoys it.
Nice.
And every time I see her and she's wearing it, I can see how happy she is with this watch.
Good job, Mom.
This watch was the first watch, the Toric, Parmigiani Toric, made by Michel Parmigiani. He's wearing one himself. I think his is a white gold one or platinum. I'm not sure. He did this, I think, in 1996. So this is close to being really, truly 30 years old and vintage. A couple more years. I love the design. I know that in the design, he has been inspired by the golden ratio. This is a fantastic watch here. The beauty with an automatic rotor in 22 karat gold. It's gorgeous. A 36 millimeter watch. It doesn't get more beautiful than this.
Yes, beautiful stepped case, with the bezel.
Case is awesome. One of the most elaborate cases I've ever seen.
And is it a second time zone?
Yes, a second time zone.
Very cool piece, beautiful dial. And again, Parmigiani's now, they just go up and up. So if you want a cool watch, gold case, beautiful movement as well. Parmigiani Fleurier was bought up by the Sandoz Foundation.
Yeah, long ago
because
already.
Michel used to, I think...
He actually restored his watches.
Restored their clocks, watches, everything. So they just then bought him up, which is very cool. So the early Parmigiani watches are not so easy to find. And again, now are slowly going up and up.
Now this is difficult. When I got it, it was still easier.
How much did you pay for it? Do you know?
Much less than it would be now.
Yeah, probably half less.
Yeah, half or even less than that. Yeah, 1/3.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm jealous.
Yes.
So you also have a nice chronograph collection here from many different brands. So what is this very cool tool-like watch here?
So this is one of the early Zin watches. Zin was founded by Helmut Zin in 1961, I think. He passed away at age 102 a couple years ago.
Wow.
He sold the company a longer time ago to a man, I think his name is Schmidt, and he has been doing really well. The watches are very well recognized worldwide, very solid
respected
quality.
As well, good quality.
Based out of Frankfurt. I am really sad. Shortly before he passed away, maybe a year or two before that, and I think he was already 100 or something, I was supposed to join a dinner in Frankfurt, and I didn't. One of my big regrets. But along watch collecting, you'll always collect a few regrets where you couldn't make it or didn't make it for whatever reason. But he was a very inspired man. The watch is basically a Breitling.
Yeah.
And that's how he started. He didn't have a watch manufacturer. He bought the parts from Breitling and then made it a Zin. So if you look at the dial,
it looks like a Navitimer.
It's a Zin. Yeah, it's a Navitimer basically. Nothing different. Then he basically changed the crown and changed the dial. That was his dial. Very rare piece, new old stock condition, unpolished. I got this from a collector who I'm still sometimes in touch with, and he has quite a few vintage pieces in an unworn and mostly airtight sealed condition. And this was airtight until a few months ago, and I opened it and I don't know how to seal it again. But I have to give a thought to my vintage watches. I am noticing some watches, not those here today, but in other cases that are deteriorating in terms of dials. I'm noticing a big issue with blue dials. They're in the outer rim, they're starting to become copper colored. If anybody watching this has any good ideas how to preserve old watches, really
contact
professionally.
Him, yeah. We're going to link your Instagram and everything in the description. So if somebody can help out, please. Yeah. Will be awesome.
Absolutely.
And then we have a brand which is, I think, being revived now, more or less. Excelsior Park.
I saw, and I think they're very similar now, looking to something like this. Yes. So,
but this is the original one.
This is the original from the 60s. I got this watch originally with a silver dial, which I still have. I found this dial in Japan, Japanese collector. He flew into Munich and I got the dial from him. Then I switched it. You know, we have this vintage world where everybody thinks, oh, that's not original, that's not original. You know what? Sometimes something may not be original after 60 years. If you buy a classic car, you're not going to have original tires and drive around with it. So here I have a dial switch, but the dial, well, it is original. It was a new old stock dial. There's nothing fake about the dial. It's just, it may not have belonged to this watch.
Yeah, so, and again, these watches before were used as tool watches.
Yes.
Not really collectibles. You know, if something broke, they replaced it.
Yeah.
It didn't complicate as today.
Exactly. And the dial, I got this with a silver dial, actually was reloomed and it wasn't really looking pretty. And I think this is...
it looks awesome.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Very cool.
Take a look. It's still very nice in the back, too.
Clean, huh? Very nice.
I kind of look for cool straps, too. So you see, in some cases, they're like a little more colorful. I have some people that make straps for me. Just as I like them, or this one here comes from Italy. There's another one that comes from Romania by a very talented guy. It just is something, you know, where I try to give a little look, a better or different look to watches.
Yeah, a bit of personality. And again, this brand exists today, really successful as well, more and more.
Yeah.
Same style today, basically.
I think they were the first brand to actually offer a hybrid NFT. It was auctioned here in Cologne at a well-known auction house. So a hybrid NFT is you're getting the picture and you're getting the real watch.
The watch, nice.
They did well. I think it fetched about 40,000, so quite a lot more than the watch can possibly cost.
Which is a lot for them because the watch, I think, new now is about 1.5 or 2.5 thousand euros.
Okay.
But we have here again the original version, the Hanhart chronograph.
Yeah. So this is a rare model. It's called the Tachytele, but I must admit, I bought it from somebody who is not a collector. He maybe inherited it or something. We met, came here, had a couple of burgers, and then I got the watch. I had to make a quick decision. You know, when you're meeting with people, you do not have the time to consult the rest of the world and all the forums and experts. And I'm not an hard expert, but I love the watch, and I said I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I have good friends who are really expert on this. They do have some doubt about this dial, that it really was original.
Okay.
I love the look, and it is the way it is. And if it is not an original dial, well, then I'm a little bit out of luck, but I have a beautiful watch. It didn't cost an arm, let alone a leg, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we go into the dress chronograph space a bit with 2 or 3 different watches here, one on the wrist and 2 on the table.
Yeah.
This is my favorite because of the lugs, obviously.
Yes.
I'm a lug guy. So
I love Corne de Vache.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, if I could, I would wear a Vacheron.
Yeah.
Preferably the old vintage piece, which is incredibly difficult to find.
1955.
I've seen it once at auction, but with a really crappy dial.
Yeah.
Still fetched a lot of money. This is a Girard-Perregaux with a Valjoux 22, I think. So nice movement, very pretty with the Corne de Vache. I love this look.
It's a big size as well, huh?
Big size, yeah.
Not
it's actually
a small
38, maybe slightly above 38.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
It's becoming contemporary, so yes.
Awesome. And then you have also 2 Zenith chronographs.
Yeah.
Do they have the same movement, or just they're from the same era, basically?
We'll take this one off, and we can show both.
Very cool. Are they the same or
yes,
similar?
They are very similar. They have, I think, the same case size. They have the same caliber. It's the caliber 156.
Okay.
I know that collectors have an obsession with the 146. It seems to be more collectible. Finding these watches with original dials is a tricky thing.
Yeah.
Many are really crapped out. I got these over time from my good Italian friend and collector. And I'm looking for more. I would love to get 146s. There is like a steel variation in an even larger case. I think that's a 38 or 39 millimeter case. Then even it's a steel AH2711 reference. I don't recall the references here of these anymore. I've had these watches for quite a while, and I must admit in the last 2.5, 3 years, I haven't spent much time about thinking about what I did with my vintage watches. At the time I was trading them, I knew more, and you are forgetting when you're doing something else.
For sure,
yeah.
For sure. But they're beautiful and good size as well.
Yes.
In today's day and age, you can easily wear this.
Yeah.
And then you've got a more, what looks like a modern watch, but is also from the mid-90s.
Yep.
A nice Brigade, which again, today when you see a Brigade, you always see a Classique or maybe a Tourbillon or something like that. But not many people wear this watch. What is this?
So this is an Aero Naval, but it's a very early one. Brigade revived the Type 20 and called it the Aero Naval in 1994. They put the Lemania-based caliber 1350 in it. I'm not sure what a Brigade calls a caliber. I think 582, something like that. So it's a flyback caliber.
Yeah.
A flyback means you can push the lower pusher while it's running, and it will flip back the chronograph seconds hand in one shot. Back to 12, and it continues.
And start again, yes, exactly.
Here you stop, here you reset.
Very cool.
It's a very cool watch, I thought. This is a rare example. It has a gold-capped crown. It has 200 instead of 100 meters water resistance. I love the gouilloche case. It's just amazing. The craftsmanship at Brigade is so underrated, and I would wish Brigade a lot more recognition among collectors. These watches definitely deserve it. The quality is top.
I agree. Nicely domed crystal glass as well. Nice bezel.
Yep.
Awesome. So the next watch or pocket watch here is something I love, because if you saw my videos about my pocket watches and also my collection, you see that I also like to spend a bit of money on these things, because I think it's also very underrated.
Yes.
If you want to buy a minute repeater or a quarter repeater nowadays in a wristwatch, you'll pay more than 10,000, 15, 20, depends on what you buy. But in pocket watches, if you're lucky, you can go still below 2K in a gold case and find like a really nice sounding pocket watch. So tell us something about this one.
So I got this here from somebody in Cologne. He inherited the watch from his parents, and he couldn't really tell me much about it. So I saw this, we had coffee, and when I met him the first time, I didn't have the money, and I had to meet him again a few months later. This is a quarter repeater, so it does sound off a little bit. I like the Jacques Mar, the automaton, how it's hitting. I assume it's some private label because I haven't been able to find out. I mean, initially, I was hoping it's maybe a Jacques Mar, but it's definitely not. Can't have everything in life.
Yes.
But this is a wonderful piece. It's beautiful art, just something special. Should we sound
off? Awesome. Let's go. Let's set the time. Very nice. And the movement is also beautiful. You have a governor, which I've never seen in the shape of an arrow. So, and it says it's from Le Chatefond.
Yeah.
So the quality is really good.
Yeah.
And the case is in full gold, right?
Yeah, it's full 18 karat gold.
Awesome. So in your business, you do help your clients get piece unique watches or special watches. You also sometimes combine multiple watchmakers to make a special watch. What's next for you, for your business? And maybe how can people work with you or order a watch?
Well, sure. They can contact me by email. They can call me. They can message you if they have difficulty getting in touch with me. Yes, I can live a little bit my creative side with these unique pieces and special pieces. I am working on a couple of things. I'm also working on some limited edition projects that are made to what the group of collectors would like to have. We have a current project. I cannot talk about these things at the moment because,
for obvious reasons. Yeah,
yes.
But you do work with some of the finest Swiss independent watch brands. Let's put it this way.
And a few Germans.
And Germans as well. So
yes.
That's how we met as well.
There is a French as well, and it is growing very well. It's a very exciting time for something like that. I must say, I'm meeting fantastic people. I'm having projects that I could never have imagined.
Yeah.
And for me, this has become a dream come true.
Awesome,
it's,
man.
Really cool.
Awesome.
And thanks to your videos too.
Thank you so much for showing us your collection. I wish you nothing but the best. I'll see you soon anyway.
We are going to make another video.
For sure.
Just not this year.
With the watch, again, we never showed before, so stay tuned. That's
yes.
Like and subscribe as always, obviously.
That will be a very good, solid reason to like and subscribe.
I'm looking forward to it.
And this time it will be Swiss.
Perfect, awesome. So guys, thank you for watching. And as always, I'll see you next Friday.